The most popular formula to use in Google Sheets is the sum function, but most people only know one way to use it. Hang out with us to learn 6 ways to use the sum function in your Google Sheets to take you to the next level, and in between, we'll show you views from Glacier National Park. These sum function methods are going to build, so make sure to watch the whole video to see what you're missing. Let's get started. There are a few ways to add in Google Sheets, but adding in the simplest way isn't the best approach. You could type into a cell equals A2 plus A3 plus A4 like this to get 6. But there is a better way. What is the formula for sum in Google Sheets? The other way you can add values is with the sum function. And if you do equals, Google Sheets will auto-populate with the sum function when there is a range of numbers adjacent. But in order to find the sum, you could also go up here to the Insert menu, then Function, and Sum is the very first one because it's the most popular formula in Google Sheets. But we'll go back to the cell and enter equals, and again, the equal sum, open parentheses, close parentheses shows up. So in order to learn more about it from Google, you can use the drop-down and read it here in the About. So the sum function returns the series of numbers and/or cells, then value 1 is the first number or range to add together. So now that we know a little about the formula, how do I do a sum in Google Sheets? In order to sum and use this formula, I'm going to go up here again to Insert Function, so you can see this again, and I'm going to just sum A2 to A4. So I can type it in, and then add a close parentheses, and I can just hit Enter, and again, 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. The other way I can do it is just type equals sum, and it'll actually autocomplete for me A2 to A12. And if I want to accept it, I can do Tab, or I can use the arrows up and down to navigate. But I want to use sum A2 to A12, and the formula returns 66. And here's my formula, equals sum, open parentheses, A2 colon A12, close parentheses. Before we get to the next one, make sure to check out the video description for more Google Sheets resources. Read the description while you watch. Okay, here's the next question. How do I use the sum function to sum individual cells? There's another way to use sum, and that is to use commas, so I can type in equals sum, open parentheses, and I use commas to separate my values. So if I wanted to sum C2, C3, and C4, I would enter equals sum, C2, comma C3, comma C4, close parentheses. Hit Enter, and I'll end up with 60 again. 10 plus 20 plus 30 equals 60. But we could sum the whole column this way by adding commas and cells to return 660. But there's an easier way. We could just enter equals sum, open parentheses, C2 colon C12, close parentheses, and get the same result. But again, use commas to separate cells or ranges you want to add together. Now that we have the foundation, we're going to get more complex. How can we sum ranges of cells and individual cells together in Google Sheets? We can sum with a range and individual cells with the sum function. So if we've got some numbers in various areas of our sheet, we can start with range E2 colon E4, and then we can come down here, and maybe I just want to add the 15 and the 19. Then we can get a total of 43 that way. So I'm going to sum E2 to E4, 1, 3, and 5, and then E9, which would be 15, and E11, which would be 19, separated by commas to equal 43. So using the sum feature like that, I can grab multiple numbers from the sheet, and they don't have to be near each other. Do you like the hike of Grinnell Glacier while we work through the sum function? Tell us in the comments. We're trying something new and would like your feedback. Okay, as we continue, how do I sum multiple ranges in Google Sheets? To sum multiple ranges, we can open up our formula, equals sum, open parentheses, and I can highlight this range, and then I can use the comma, and I can highlight another range and close parentheses. So now I'm able to sum a lot of numbers in 2 separate ranges and total 297. But you could also again insert, function, sum, highlight with your mouse, put a comma, highlight with your mouse, put a comma, highlight with your mouse, put a comma, highlight with your mouse, and hit Enter, and again the number shows up here, it's 225. How do I create a sum box in Google Sheets? What a lot of people don't know, because we sum columns and rows so often, is that you can actually sum a rectangle. So that's why I have this down here. Type in equals sum, open parentheses, and you can add all of these and get the sum of that total, 161. Not very often do people sum rectangles, but it is something you can do with a sum function that you need to keep in mind because it does have value as you work with Google Sheets. We've got more that you may not have thought of yet, but learning what formulas can do at this level is imperative to your ability to use Google Sheets. If you want to learn Google Sheets from us, subscribe to our channel so that when you search for Google Sheets on YouTube, our videos come up at the top of your search results. Okay, back to the list, and how do you make a formula negative in Google Sheets? Did you know that not only can you sum for a positive result, but you can also sum for a negative result? So here, if you type equals, then minus, sum, open parentheses, you can do your range again. Let's do comma, just to get complex. You can close parentheses here, you'll end up with a negative 84. To continue learning in Google Sheets, watch this video next.